Well, I really think that Antonio Brown to the
James.
Raiders. What?
Where is Mike?
8 o'clock. I said 8 o'clock for
Good
these guys.
evening, boys.
Mike.
Oh my God!
Wow,
I'm
come
assuming
on.
you've all heard the news.
Take
No,
the
no, I
mask off.
haven't.
What's the news, though?
Antonio Brown of the Raiders.
Who saw that one coming?
my
I
God.
didn't. I certainly
Mike,
did.
can you please take the mask off?
All right. I just thought it'd be a nice thing to do for.
Are you kidding me?
God.
Roll it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Oswego Sports Update. I'm your host, James Catato, with Bo Drake Deese and Mike Morano. We got some fun stuff to talk about this episode, so let's get right into it. With the biggest event happening on our campus this weekend, Oswego men's NCAA quarterfinal hockey. The Oswego men's hockey team are rematching the Hobart Statesmen in the Morano Campus Center this Saturday at 7, and there are going to be some fireworks, to say the least, boys. The first time these two teams met, it was here in Oswego at the Morano Campus Center, and the Lakers were able to handle Hobart with a 4-2 win. Hobart defeated Plymouth State to get to the quarterfinals of the Big Dance by a score of 2-1. We have the first highlights of the first game between the Lakers and the Statesmen right here. Guys, what did you see from the Lakers that was good, and what worries you about Oswego going into this game?
I think one of the things that worries me personally is that they seem to only be able to consistently score on breakaways, you know, if it's a fast break situation, or on crowding the net. It doesn't seem like they have a lot of actual operation of an offense where they'll pass around the point and then be able to get a clean goal.
Yeah, I mean, it's talking about the scrum and the scramble of you know, getting dirty goals and all that. Let's talk about the nicer goals that Oswego can score. So pick it up right here. You see the puck movement with Oswego, and stop it right here. Jody Sullivan is able to sneak through that neutral zone behind Hobart defenders and pick it up once again. Jody Sullivan is able to net it past Hobart's goaltender, and then it puts the Lakers up. But pause it right here, because this is something that I really wanted to touch on. You see the fan base, the Oswego Laker fan base. This is going to be a really big factor in how Oswego is able to play against Hobart because, guys, it's spring break. It's going to be a Saturday. We might not see a lot of fans. We might see a lot of Hobart and Oswego natives, but not a lot of fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and something that Oswego is just so good at doing is just carrying with the momentum that they have. They score early. They'll carry that throughout the rest of the game. The fans are on their side 24/7. The rest of the game, it's just something that they're going to be able to miss, but it's something that I believe they could be able to adapt to as well.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that might actually be a hidden help with that is, you know, there might be more focus on the game. You know what I'm talking about? It might be more about making sure that this is a clean game. It doesn't have to be as flashy. It doesn't have to be as crazy. It's just got to be, let's grind it out and make sure that we get this win.
Well, the fans are definitely going to play a factor, to say the least, and they definitely did in this game, because pick it up right here. The fans contributed into Oswego scoring a second goal. You see Jody Sullivan netting it
Nice top
past
shelf.
Hobart. Yeah, beautiful goal. But right here, pause it right here, because you see Oswego, again, in that scramble that you were talking about, Bo. Kind of break this down for me.
So kind of what we're looking at here is, if we go just a little bit further, on the highlight, is that we have a forward right in front of the goalie right here, and then we have two forwards back on him, and then we have somebody on the offhand side. Now, what this creates is that obviously there's a scramble right here where the goaltender is the main person handling the puck and keeping it out. There's not a whole lot of defenseman manipulation because nobody can really have it right now when you're scrambling. So what this does is enables the forward person to be able to kick it out to either of these two who can handle it if it comes back. And obviously this person here is on the goaltender's offhand side so that they are able to kick it in should it come out, which...
Yeah, and pick it up right here. The person who nets this goal is no other than Aaron Huff-Nagel. And this is a player that I really wanted to touch on because due to academic reasons, Aaron Huff-Nagel is no longer with the team. And you see the top shelf that he puts, pause it right here, the top shelf that he puts right where Grandma hides the cookies.
I was waiting for it.
Mike, how much are the Lakers going to miss Aaron Huff-Nagel?
Yeah, obviously we saw here he's a big factor in the Hobart game, but they've had a couple games where they haven't had him on their team. They're able to adapt. They have other guys that they could score. If it was a big problem, we would have known about it sooner. We would have known it would have been a bigger factor, but I think they've been doing enough that they could actually adapt without him.
Yeah, I mean, they've missed Huff-Nagel, to say the least. He was definitely a good option coming off of that third line, but they have been able to adapt without him. And, you know, like you said, injuries with Michael Gillespie, picking up those guys going into the quarterfinal game going to be definitely a big boost for the Lakers, especially without a guy like Huffnagel. So picking it up right here with some great opportunities in front of that comes some disappointing opportunities here. And pause it right there and then rewind it a little bit, because this is an error that Oswego has. Put it in slow motion. You see the number 22 from Hobart is screening David Richer, and he kind of blocks his vision, and then they're able to put it past Richer. He doesn't even know what hit him. Bo, pause it right here, because what does Richer have to do to not concede that goal?
Well, I think one of the things that Richer has to do right there is be a little bit more active in the crease and trying to get his vision to see the puck. If you look at that, he kind of doesn't really make a lot of moves to try and see around the guy. He's kind of assuming that his protector in front of the crease is just going to move the player, so he's then able to see where the shot's coming from. But he just kind of stands there and waits. And if you watch it, there's not really a whole lot of reaction from him. So I think he's got to be a little bit more active in trying to, you know, see around players.
Yeah, I also think he was a lot taken off guard too.
Yeah,
as
I
we
agree.
see. I don't think he was expecting a shot so early on and so far away. And I don't even know if the Oswego players even, I think they were taken off guard too, because they didn't have no chance to even block the puck even with their bodies.
So pick it up right here. Obviously, Oswego was able to respond well with yet another goal. We don't have to recap that because Oswego, again, great in transition play. They're great at moving the puck around. They're able to slot that one. Again, top shelf. A lot of top shelf
Gotta
goals.
keep going.
A lot of great goals. But one
Keep
thing that I
funding
really
Bruno
wanted to
Haas's
talk
focus.
about, obviously you see the replay here. Oswego does a great job of being able to move the puck around. We've been talking about this. Puck movement is key. But Hobart was able to net another one, make it a close game. Because pause it right here. David Richer, deflections off of the pads. This is an issue that we've seen with Richer many a time this season. What does Richer have to do to kind of get better at that?
Well, I think rebound control is, I mean, obviously we just saw it. It's one of the biggest things that he has to work on. I think that if he starts to let up those rebounds, not towards to the boards, but rather towards the middle of the ice where everybody is coming in at him, he's just going to let up goals left and right. And we've seen that consistently throughout the season. So I think all he really has to work on is making sure if he gets those, either A, controlling them and freezing them, or if he's going to get that deflection, he's got to make sure that he's directing that towards the corner.
Yeah, and I believe that's a big issue that he knows that he has to fix, and he has to just, if he's not going to swallow it up, he's just got to throw it in the back.
Exactly.
We saw against plays against Plattsburgh, he was getting a lot of shots on net as time was expiring. It kept deflecting. I think he did a good job of protecting himself, but that's just a lot of unneeded pressure from him.
Yeah, I mean, and then Oswego was able to score an empty netter and then put that one to bed, 4-2. It's going to be a really exciting game. What do you guys think Oswego's going to do in this one?
I really want to say that they're going to improve greatly and do.
Well, this was at the beginning of the season.
Yes, it was. But I think that I think we're going to see more of this against this team. I mean, one of the things that we've definitely seen against this is that they can score on odd man rushes.
I don't know if it's going to be exactly like this. Completely different environment. Couple players missing, as we said, like Huffnagel. Also, it's early in the season.
Correct.
Teams find a good way to play. Teams find themselves as well. I'm sure they're going to be looking at this. I don't know if it's going to be the exact same game as we expect.
At the beginning of the season, both of these teams were ranked in the top 10 in the nation, and now, once again, Oswego ranked number 5, hosting number 7, Hobart. It's going to be an absolute classic. As soon as the puck drops, 7 p.m. on Saturday, get your tickets, because although the fans may not be there, all of the locals from Oswego and Hobart might pack out that crowded stadium. So it's going to be one that you won't want to miss. Coming up after the break, it's the Bay Area, hometown of G-Eazy, the Raiders, and Golden State's bandwagon fan base. Oakland is our talk of the town up next. And, boys, we're trying something new. Stay tuned. You're watching OSU.
Hey, President Stanley, what's your favorite television station?
I don't know. Hey, guys, what do you think?
My family and friends are always with me, no matter where I may be. Sharing stories from home helps me sustain my recovery from my mental and substance use disorder.
Hi, sweetheart.
Join the Voices for Recovery. Our families, our stories, our recovery.
For confidential information on mental and substance use disorders, including prevention and treatment referral for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
Total, Baldwin faces 32 charges.
Saturday, I went to Woodchuck Saloon.
Too much temperature change.
13-10 meteorologist.
2 as well. Visions from Tanner Spink. Go to 2-1.
Then with 6 and 10 on the year.
It's back and better than ever. One student can win up to $25 in cash. All on Oswego's favorite game show, Sit to Win! Every Sunday night at 9, only on WTOP 10 TV.
Welcome back to OSU, and welcome to something new to the show. It's called Headline Hits, gentlemen. This segment is where we take the biggest local and national stories. We have 30 seconds to give our hottest or coldest takes. So starting off in the Carrier Dome, Syracuse men's basketball team finished the regular season 6th in the ACC and came off to a disappointing loss to Clemson. Bo, where do we see the Orange going in the ACC tournament and even the NCAA tournament?
Could they go deep? Probably. Issues, Virginia, number 1, and then also Duke. I do not think that they could go past Duke. Zion's coming back. Zion theoretically going to be healthy. I don't think Syracuse has anybody that they could put up against him. Following that, do I think Zion's going to be exactly the same? I don't know. We have to see how he looks when he comes back. Hopefully his shoes can stay together.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely entertaining. Nasir Little, Zion Williamson. Earlier this evening, former UFC champion Conor McGregor was arrested for strong armed robbery and misdemeanor criminal mischief after smashing someone's phone for taking videos and pictures of him. Bo, I'll stick with you. Should McGregor retire? If not, what is the next move for the notorious one?
Before this, I would have said no. After this, I definitely think so.
So no fight with Donald Cerrone, no fight with Tony Ferguson?
No, I don't care. Look, you start robbing people, this is different. I get that you get heated when you're playing sport. The whole bus thing, I can get over that. For some reason, that's different. You're just robbing people for some reason. You're just robbing people at random on the street because they're taking pictures of
pictures of it. Yeah, no, definitely. Moving on to the diamond now. Luis Severino won't be able to go for the Yankees for opening day, and Aaron Boone has announced that Masahiro Tanaka will be the day 1 starter for the Yanks until Sevy can get back to full health. Mike, was making Tanaka the number 1 right with Paxton and Jay Happ sitting behind them in the rotation?
No, I was a little caught off guard by it, but I understand looking into it. I do understand now. Tanaka has a lot more experience right now as a Yankee than Paxton, than Happ. You could argue CC Sabathia, but I think Tanaka's the right move because he has to prove himself, and they're versus the Orioles.
Perfect. And from one diamond to another, former Major League slugger and former Yankee great Alex Rodriguez is tying the knot with famous singer Jennifer Lopez after proposing with a massive engagement ring. We've heard a lot of numbers, Millie, 3 million, but the one that's being spread around is that lucrative $1 million. Mike, is that too much for a ring? Do you think A-Rod and J-Lo are going to last?
Are we questioning the fact that, why are we thinking, oh, it's a big deal? This guy has multiple $200 million contracts. I don't care. Buy the biggest ring you want. I mean, seriously, I think they're going to work out. Unless you look at Jose Canseco's tweets, apparently A-Rod's doing something else that we don't know about.
Oh, man, a lot of tea, a lot of conspiracy. Wonderful, wonderful. If you guys like the block, let us know. That was something new. But moving on to talk of the town, the Oakland Raiders have won the headache that was the sweepstakes for star receiver Antonio Brown. The Steelers are receiving a 3rd and 5th round pick for Brown, and Brown raked in the dough, to say the least. $50 million over 3 seasons with $30 million guaranteed, which makes him the highest paid wideout in the NFL. Bo, I'll start with you, but I know the Raiders fan to my left is itching to get his take in. Where do you see this Raiders team with Brown on it? Do they contend at all in the AFC or in their division?
I really don't know. I think we have to just see how it starts, to be honest. Because, I mean, obviously, if you look at AB's Instagram, you could tell that he's happy to be where he is, but it might just be, he just arrived in California, so things are looking up and up right now. I really think that
business is booming, as Brown said.
As some people would say.
As some people would say, not naming. However, I just want to say, before I let it go to the Raiders fan, the Steelers got absolutely swindled. absolutely
Oh,
swindled.
absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely swindled.
There was a report that the Patriots had offered a 2nd and 4th round pick to the Steelers for Antonio Brown.
And the still would have been better.
Well, the only reason why the Steelers didn't let him go is because they were adamant on not letting him go to the Patriots.
They're also just salted that the Steelers have been owned by the Patriots in the playoffs for how many years now? So
Fair.
let me,
Just let him go.
All right, I'm letting him go.
Was it the right move? It kind of just fell into the Raiders' lap. They had the opportunity, they had the cap space to do it. It was the right move for Antonio Brown. I think the Steelers kind of just wanted to get Antonio Brown away from them. I said, you know what? We'll just take whatever at this point, and we'll just carry on. Raiders have a lot more things to address. They just signed LaMarcus Joyner, the cornerback from the Rams. They just signed
7-time Pro Bowl O-lineman.
Yes, Trent Brown.
Yep.
But I'm a little weary on that because he could be a next like Nate Soldiers they were talking about before. I think they have a lot more things to address. I think Derek Carr needs a couple more weapons, and I think they need to adapt into this. But it's a great start, I think. And actually, we'll even see because I guarantee you they're going to be on what's the show with football camps. I'm drawing a blank on it.
It's Gruden's show.
It's the HBO show.
It doesn't matter.
But I'm sure they're going to be on that, whatever it is. So we'll be able to take a look at that soon enough.
Well, I mean, this is a wide receiver that over the past 6 seasons has led the league in receiving. He's been absolutely phenomenal. 1,200 yards, 1,500 yards, you name it. Brown over 100 catches a season. Like, he is a generational talent. Some would call him one of the best wide receivers of all time. So now that you have Antonio Brown on the Raiders with a QB like Derek Carr, who didn't really thrive under the system of John Gruden, but did under Jack Del Rio, what do you think a guy like Brown makes that difference for them? Like, what do you think he does to that offense?
Well, I mean, you're obviously getting one of, like, arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL, so it's going to do something, if nothing else, it just gives you, like, the best passing option in the NFL.
National football. Yeah. And you fleeced the Steelers for the best option in national
football.
Oh,
yeah, 100%.
It's not even like they broke, they did break the bank for it, but it's not like they destroyed their assets. I mean, they gave up Khalil Mack for 2 first-rounders, and they got Antonio Brown for a 66th overall pick and a 141st overall pick. It doesn't get any better than that. I think they had to make this choice, and they have 3 first-round picks in this draft coming up.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a rebuilding year.
So they could even take these and even trade these picks for other players too, or they could just take what they have and grow into their own system. Like right now, I think they're in a good system with this trade, and they're into a good place as well.
And it could be interesting because you could see a guy like Le'Veon Bell maybe follow in the footsteps, but it was just announced that the Raiders might have cash flow issues.
Yeah. They've been. I think they spent. I think they got all their big names out of the way. I think with Brown, I think with both Browns actually.
Still need a running back because Lynch is
exactly.
old as dirt.
That's what I'm saying. They have a lot more holes to fill.
I just want to eat cake.
Yeah, exactly. So I think
so I don't get fined.
You guys gotta stop cutting me off, please. This is my block to do it.
This is your sunshine. This is your
my
little
sunshine, and you guys took it away from me.
So moving off of the gridiron and onto the hardwood, the Golden State Warriors are currently sitting atop of the Wild Western Conference, but they look more vulnerable than recent seasons. With the Denver Nuggets, Houston Rockets, and Oklahoma City Thunder all right behind Golden State, will we see the throne change in the West, or will we see another dominating playoff run and see the Warriors three-peat?
I think that there's obviously the Warriors are much more vulnerable. It's just not disputable. I think that there is potential for them to be upset. I don't know if it's actually going to happen, though, because it's still the Golden State Warriors. I'm saying this with all of my heart. I think there's 2 realistic teams that think can do that, and then I have 1 wild card that might be able to do that.
And who would that be?
I think, first of all, I think the Houston Rockets have the best chance of beating Golden State. Oof. And then following that, I think, and the reason for that is because they have the experience to go into somewhat of that distance.
I could agree with you with that.
Second is the Denver Nuggets, just because they are absolutely balling.
Well, they just got beat pretty bad in Golden State.
I know, but they are absolutely balling still. The only thing is I could see for that is they are too young and they just don't have the experience. None of them are playoff tested. OKC is my wild card. I think that PG is balling out too, and it's just one of those, like, I don't have a lot of reason, but I think just because they're playing so well.
I agree with you too. I think, but again, all teams get vulnerable at some point. We saw last year at the Cavs. They were, they were like a 5th seed or 4th seed last year, and they ended up in the finals. People just love to speculate, especially with the Warriors. People will love to speculate because they need something. They need something in their head to be like, okay, maybe this is the year the Warriors don't. I personally think the Warriors are probably going to three-peat. I think I think so. Because this is like regular
no injuries.
season.
If they have a single injury, though, I think it's over. And I think if Durant gets hurt, because Durant is hurt right now, they would be smart to just shut him down. You see the injury right here. He rolled his ankle. rolled his ankle.
That's a twisted ankle.
Well, to be fair, he's so lanky. And
He's walking right there.
He's 7 feet tall. He's so lanky that if you have a rolled ankle like that, you could get hurt easily. And I think if I'm the Warriors, I'm just shutting him down until the postseason.
Okay.
But if there's one team in my mind that beats them, I know they just got blown out at home, but this is why it's so crucial that Denver gets that #1 seed. Because if you look at teams, you don't really see it in the NBA because in football, you see the teams have to get acclimated to the climate. You know, it's tough to play in Green Bay. It's tough to play against the Broncos in their home stadiums because literally in Denver, it is the mile-high city.
Yeah.
Right? The Nuggets have that advantage that nobody else has. They are acclimated to that type of atmosphere where if they can host, they are terrible on the road this season, but they are fantastic at home. If they're able to host against the Warriors, say in the Western Conference Finals, I think that you could see the Nuggets knocking them off.
I mean, again, I put them as my number 2 to beat them, and I think it's because, I mean, obviously they're number 2 in the West, but I think that obviously they're balling. I get concerned with the lack of playoff experience. Jokic is not tested in the playoffs. He's not tested in these big scenarios, so it's really kind of up in the air right now.
I mean, you could easily put the Thunder in there as well because, like you said, George having the best season of his career.
But the thing that bothers me about the Thunder is I don't think they have a lot of depth. You know,
I agree.
Russell Westbrook,
I agree.
Paul
I don't know.
George, if you want to go Steven Adams, and then
as a scorer, though,
Dennis Schroeder.
Dennis Schroeder.
You have Hamidou Diallo coming off the bench as well.
Okay, he won the dunk contest.
But they have so many options, and Terrence Ferguson as well.
But who are you putting them up against? Sean Livingston?
I mean, if you have to. Here's the thing about Golden State, though, is that they're aging. You know, it's not like they're staying young forever in this amazing dynasty.
No,
everyone's getting older.
Believe me, I don't want them to. I'm just saying there's not great matchups from Golden State to Denver. Golden State's way more deep than Denver is.
Yeah, and they just have.
I don't even know about that. Because if you look at the playoff roster that Denver could sport, you could see a guy like Michael Porter Jr. coming back. He's 6'10", and he is athletic.
Has he played a game all season?
He hasn't played a game, but that doesn't matter. If you are just an athletic freak and you are 6'10", I know you're holding hands right now because you're nervous, but listen, you have a guy like Isaiah Thomas coming off of the bench. You have so many options, so many weapons. Will Barton. You can just throw so many options at this Golden State Warriors team if you're Denver, and not a lot of players or not a lot of teams in the league have center options that can back up Nikola Jokic, who is having another MVP dark horse season in my mind.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
He's low key. The only reason why he doesn't get mentioned is because he plays in Denver, and it's unfortunate because he's a much better center than Clint Capella, but Capella gets a lot more clout.
I like the terms.
He does. He does.
These young kids.
He does.
These young kids, man. We'll see.
We'll see. It's going to be a lot of fun. The playoffs nearing soon. But when we come back, for a team that's not making the playoffs, Mike is going to give us his final take on the dumpster fire that is the New York Knicks. Don't go anywhere. You're watching OSU.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be. There is no typical firefighter.
Hey guys, when we're not doing the real deal, what do you like to do in your free time?
Well, I like to watch WTOP 10 movies on demand.
Yeah, me too. You know, there's such a wide variety of films that anybody on campus can watch.
And it's free.
And it's free.
How do I get to this movies on demand?
Well, all you have to do is go to WTOP10.com and click the Movies on Demand tab.
Hey, let's go watch one right now to review on our next show.
first time in my life, I'm not a fan of the worst team in New York, and that feels so weird to say. I may be a fan of the other team in New York, like the New York Mets and Brooklyn Nets, but that's not always a bad thing. I'm talking about the absolute garbage fire that is the New York Knicks. It's not even the team itself at this point. It's the owner of the franchise that refuses to understand its losses and do its best for the franchise. Trust me, I know how it is to have bad owners, but I can agree James Dolan is so much worse. At least the Wilpons are solely focused on the Mets, just not willing to break the bank often for players. But honestly, I truly can't knock them compared to Dolan because at least the Mets made the World Series not too long ago. Wilpons have also been hearing those sell the team comments for literally years. But if they start banning people from Citi Field, they're going to have no fans, including myself. The Knicks have been consistently bad for so long. But when you own a team, especially like the New York Knicks, you will constantly be under fire, basically every day. It's just a responsibility you have to take when signing the dotted line. James Dolan's self-esteem is just so low, he has to threaten fans to ban them from Madison Square Garden. And ask them, how would he like to feel if you would watch the Knicks on TV? Over someone who paid to see the Knicks play, Mr. Dolan, you just won that battle. It's just more money in your pocket. There is no need to be hurt. I mean, if anything, it's more money in your pocket for your band anyways. Who knows? If I get the Knicks to be banned, that's all right. But you'll see me at the Barclays watching my team in the playoffs. Good luck destroying Zion's career. Thanks for watching. Be sure to stay tuned after break as we move to the city that never sleeps, the Big Apple. Have a good night.
Are you thinking about buying medicine online? A search for online pharmacies yields more than 20 million results. But which ones can you trust? Medicines bought from unlicensed online pharmacies can be dangerous. You may get a fake drug, your condition may get worse, or you may experience a bad reaction. Don't put your health at risk. To learn how to find an online pharmacy that's safe and legal, visit fda.gov/BeSafeRx. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Here at WTOP, we pride ourselves on delivering you all the news you need to know from the day's events.
Whether it's happened on Capitol Hill or right here in Oswego,
we make sure you know all about it. We keep you up to date on all your favorite
Oswego and professional sports.
And our Storm Team 10 meteorologist will make sure that you know exactly what weather you're up against when you start your day.
Every Monday through Thursday night, make sure to tune in to Channel 10.2 because at WTOP, we don't just tell you the news.
We are
the news.